Paris Olympic has been amidst controversies since its inception, and it also has witnessed many disinformation and false news campaigns across social media and also conventional media, which makes it perhaps the most controversial Olympic in the recent memory. But what makes this event so contentious and disputed? Is it because of woke culture, or are there some other reasons? So today in this session we shall be trying to dissect this question and understand about wokeism and its effect in our society. Hello, and I welcome you all to Onboard Digital Classes. So this controversy started when the organizers of the Olympic Committee decided to give representation to LGBTQ community. But they end up mocking the Christian faith when the famous art of Leonardo da Vinci, The Last Supper, was portrayed in an extremely disgraceful manner. And naturally, people showed their anger in social media. Even Elon Musk commented and he said that this was extremely disrespectful to Christians. However, the committee later issued an apology, but their intention to provide legitimacy to LGBTQ community backfired. And hateful comments against LGBTQ community was trending in the social media. Another decision that the committee took that did not land well for them was not to provide AC to the athletes, as air conditioners contribute to global warming and affects climate change, but eventually due to heavy backlash, they had to withdraw this decision. Since the first world country failed to provide air conditioners to athletes in Paris, Sports Ministry from India dispatched 40 ACs for Indian athletes, as the temperatures were soaring and it was very difficult for players to participate in the event. And there was another incident where our athlete Nishant Dev, after winning the first round in boxing, trial by 4-1 in round 2, and the judges were accused of cheating and the angry fans demanded justice. In another bizarre incident where a football legend named Zico was robbed in a taxi. Can you imagine these things happening in a first world country where players are being robbed? And this was not an isolated case. In fact, even Argentina national football team also reported robbery incident in their Olympic training base. The boxing match between Algerian player Iman Khalif and Italian player Angela Carini that lasted for only 46 seconds was indeed the top newsmaker in Paris Olympic, as many disinformation was spread regarding the gender of Iman Khalif, and he was accused of being a biological male. And as a male, he was allowed to participate in an event where a girl is participating. But the reality is somewhat different. Iman Khalif was neither a biological male nor a female, but she was assigned female at birth, and she had been competing in top international events including the Tokyo Olympics. This controversy started because she was disqualified from a previous competition over reportedly high level of testosterone. Basically, there was a tournament that happened before this Paris Olympics, and in that tournament she was disqualified. Why? Because she had high level of testosterone. A testosterone are generally more in male than in female. We can see that in a male, testosterone is approximately 20 times higher than that of a female. Now, what is testosterone? Testosterone is nothing but it is just a sex hormone which is produced in both men and women. And how does this affect sports? It affects sports because it increases the muscle. That is, testosterone increases the muscle and bone mass, eventually making one stronger physically. Now the question comes, if the testosterone level is low in girl, then why Iman Khalif had more testosterone level when the test was conducted? It's because she had DSDs. DSDs means disorder of sex development. Now what happens in this case is that automatically the level of testosterone increases. And as per Olympic committees, she had maintained her testosterone level this time, and that is the reason why she was permitted to participate in Paris Olympic. The main reason why this controversy sparked is because of the far-right prime ministers like Giorgia Meloni. She is the prime minister from Italy, when she condemned that Khalif was allowed to compete at the games. And there are other politicians like Donald Trump who said that if he were the president, then he would not have allowed a man to play with a woman. So this type of comments by the politicians really made this event extremely huge and controversial. So why did the responsible person like Giorgia Meloni, who is the Prime Minister of Italy, and Donald Trump, who is contesting to be the President of the United States, actually said something like that? It's because today world is divided into certain ideologies. And same goes with politicians as well. When somebody forms a government, there are three types of government. One is right wingers, other one is left wingers, and some are centrist. Right wingers are basically conservatives. They value family structure. They also value societal structure. And right wingers have very strong opinion about immigrants. They don't really want immigrants or migrants to come into their country. And they are hardcore nationalists. Whereas left wingers are generally liberals. They even don't mind illegal immigrants to come into their country. They are advocates of freedom of speech and expression. But extreme form of left wing are generally called far left wingers, and they propagate wokeism. Now, what is wokeism? The general definition of wokeism is being woke means being aware, knowing what is going on in the community. So this is the theoretical definition of wokeism. But in reality, woke culture is someone who rejects religion. As we have all seen that in the opening picture, how Christianity was being insulted. And they also reject nationalism, and also they don't care about any society. They basically have divided the world into two zones. One who is the oppressor and the other one who is oppressed. And they promote individualism and self-identification. For instance, we have seen people identifying with different pronouns today, like they, them, his, her, etc. And some even identify themselves as it. And we have seen more than 100 genders have evolved today. And it's still ongoing as many people are trying to discover their gender. And also they want privilege. For instance, according to this woke ideology, the present white man should be guilty of atrocities that their forefathers did to the native or local community. And as a compensation, white men should fulfill their desires. And if they don't, they become the oppressor. And whatever injustice happens to the present native or black people, it's because of them. And this is how the concept of white man guilt comes into play. Anything that offends them deserves to be blacklisted. What this means is, suppose there is a biological male and he identifies himself as they or them. Now if some unknown person addresses him by saying he or him, he is going to get offended and basically will label him by various names. For example, either he will say he is transphobic or homophobic. So there are various names which is given to this person. His only mistake was that he addressed him based on this person's appearance. Basically, they neither want to improve their current status themselves, rather they expect others to do it for them. And they are very expert in victimizing themselves and making other people feel guilty about their existence. So in the end, we can conclude by saying that the Paris Olympics may not be entirely woke as of now, but with the current trend, Olympics in future are heading in that direction, where we can see an actual biological male being allowed to compete with female in sports, where they are allowed to use same restrooms as females are, where instead of a noun, pronoun will be the new norm, and mocking religion would be considered cool, and so the list goes on. And even the country like Bharat is not prone to disease of wokeism. Today we can see a grown adult biological male with a beard and a chest hair, dresses as a female with full makeup and posing as a bride. And there's a very interesting article by Chintan India Foundation about wokeism. And I would request you all that if you get the time, please have a look at this blog, because it very clearly explains about wokeism and its impact in Indian society. So this was a short lecture about controversies regarding Paris Olympics and how wokeism has affected the game. And if you liked the video, please consider liking, sharing it among your friends and family, and please consider subscribing the channel. And whatever you feel about the video, please do comment in the comment box. Thank you very much.